This week on FRCMedia News, paying for housing remains a major concern in Fall River. Mayor Coogan takes the wraps off the FY 2024 city budget, and Bristol Community College celebrates its class of 2023 this Saturday. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, May 18th, 2023, and this is FRCMedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. The number of Fall River residents who are experiencing difficulty finding or keeping an affordable place to live has been on the rise, with no clear end in sight. Those who are housing insecure are seeking the assistance of Fall River's social service agencies, one of them being Catholic Social Services. Director of Housing Sheila Chassie says the scope of those who are in need of housing assistance has grown since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Although COVID made a significant impact and there was a lot of relief funding for COVID, it's now targeting the medical fragile population, the younger adult population, specifically we call them youth between the ages of 18 and 24, and then also the elderly population. It impacted those populations prior to COVID, but since COVID and the rental increases, the low income barriers that people have, these specific populations we are seeing are being targeted.
Catholic Social Services offers housing assistance to residents through two programs.
So we have two pots of funds, shall we say. One is for rapid rehousing. It's the Emergency Solutions Grant, specifically for rapid rehousing. That is for folks that are physically homeless, living on the street, living in their cars, living in shelter. There is no income guideline to that funding. It's just a matter of finding a unit to rent, and we can provide assistance as long as proof of homelessness is there. Then we have the rental assistance piece, which is the homeless prevention. That piece, there is an income guideline. It's 30% area median income. And then we also have to prove at risk of homelessness. At risk of homelessness can simply be a notice to vacate for any cause. So the point is to prevent that eviction, to prevent another barrier of stabilizing a family or individual. So a simple notice to vacate submitted to a rental family or individual, provided by the landlord saying, we would like you to vacate for whether it be for cause or non-cause, meaning they owe some type of payment for arrears or for possession.
The organization also provides housing support for those dealing with substance abuse through its Opioid Response Rapid Rehousing Program.
The eligibility, they must meet one of those stimulant use or opioid use disorder, and they must physically be in inpatient treatment within one of the 6 BSAS service providers, which are Stepping Stone here in Fall River, Men's and Women's Program, Stepping Stone New Bedford, Men's or Women's Program, Harmony House, or Monarch House. They send over a referral, they're in treatment, they qualify, they have one of those use disorders. We allow them up to 1 year of rental assistance, and we provide furniture, we can provide transportation, bus passes. There's a lot of different funding that goes with that.
Anyone interested in seeking assistance in any of the organization's programs must first contact the Fall River Coordinated Entry System by calling 774-520-2555. Ms. Chassie says the increase in housing assistance requests has strained the organization's financial resources.
We tried to serve minimum 25 families within rapid rehousing and say 50 under homeless prevention. We have not only exceeded our target numbers, but have exceeded funding. Catholic Social Services by, I want to say, December, let's say, of 2022, we exceeded our fiscal year funding for homeless prevention in rapid rehousing. And we requested additional funding through the Community Development for Emergency Solutions Grant. They graciously provided additional rental assistance for us, and I have since utilized that funding as well. And actually, we've exceeded that funding, and Catholic Social Services has utilize several donation funds to continue to help the community through the end of the fiscal year of June 2023.
Ms. Chassie says the organization will continue to seek financial support from city and state resources to serve as many residents as possible while lending input into solutions on how to make housing more affordable.
There's several factors that go into housing stabilization, and I don't think focusing on one area is going to make a significant impact. I think there's several different areas, including maybe some type of fair market rent, which we already have in place, right? And affordability, and property sizes. I think we need to involve more of the community as far as homeowners themselves, and say, listen, this is how we stabilize not only homelessness and homelessness prevention, but we also stabilize rental income for you by implying affordable housing.
Fall River Mayor Paul Coogan last week submitted a $408 million city budget to the City Council for the fiscal year that begins this July. The spending plan for 2024 is $29 million, or 8.9% more than FY 2023. $17 million of the increase is scheduled to come from the state and allocated to the school department. The budget breaks down as follows. General fund budget of $354 million. The city's water budget will be $15 million. The sewer budget, $27.6 million. And the EMS budget, $11.6 million. Mary Coogan tells us the spending plan will effectively serve the needs of the people of Fall River.
It's a balanced budget. We're trying to use a little bit of our lost revenue provision that we got out of the ARPA money, because this could be our last opportunity to use it before it has to be committed by 24. So we used some of that in there. We did reduce the Durfee debt by about a half for the residents. We took a lot of the capital out to spend on ARPA. We're in a very good financial position. I think we've increased our free cash and our stabilization fund. So those are the things that long-term can help the city. Health insurance going up across the country, pension costs going up across the country. These are all stresses that are on the city budget. We're going to have to deal with them.
The City Council will soon begin hearings and deliberations on the budget, with proposed cuts and approvals due by the end of June. Fall River's Special Charter Review Committee is in the final stages of reviewing the city's organizational document and developing a report, also due by the end of June. The committee began meeting earlier this year to review and recommend changes to the city's charter passed by voters in 2017. Committee Chair Attorney Rena Brown says the initial review is complete.
We have gone through what I have placed on the agenda. I picked out areas that either people requested we discuss and review, or, and even if it was in the grocery store and somebody said, hey, however people got information to me about the charter and wanted us to take a look at it, I threw it on there. So up until now, it's been the things I've picked, right? Our next meeting will entail, input from the community, my fellow committee members, anybody, to get information to me. Is there something we did not review? Because we didn't go through every chapter. So next meeting will be whatever anybody else wants me to put on the agenda that I have not put on the agenda. So it's really about everybody else. I would encourage emails, sinfullawyer@yahoo.com, text messages, 401-835-0598. Get into contact with me, something you want, and we can even go over stuff we've already voted on, because I know, not everybody gets to go to every meeting. Not everybody gets to give public comment to every meeting. So if there's an area that we've already reviewed and you want us to take a look at, or at least, listen to your comment and bring that up, I will.
The committee has been working on a list of proposed changes to the charter. Among them includes the manner in which recall elections are handled. Petitioning for a recall election will not change, but how recall questions are worded will be simplified. Questions surrounding the recall elections of 2014 and 2019 will also be addressed.
The old charter, the charter existing, also said at the bottom of that ballot are going to be the names of candidates. So if Joe Schmo is the subject of the recall, Joe Schmo could also be on the ballot as a candidate for that position, along with 5, 10, 15, 20 other candidates for that, right? We changed it. We completely struck out the second part of that ballot. Our recommendation is, if there's a successful recall, meaning the person by a majority of the voters that came out is recalled, the office will be deemed vacant. And we will refer back to sections 3.8 and 3.10. 3.8 and 3.10 of the charter talk about vacancies in the office and talk about temporary vacancies and then permanent vacancies. And the process is all laid out there.
In the coming weeks, the committee will draft a report to be submitted to the city clerk.
Let's say the committee recommends that this new and improved document be submitted for a home rule petition. It would go to the city council. I imagine we would have to go there, give an overview of the changes to the council, a presentation of sorts, you know, the hot button issues, and answer questions. Then if the city council approves it, it goes to the mayor. If the mayor approves it, it goes to the Attorney General's office, the municipal law department. And they review the document to make sure that it's not in conflict with Mass General laws. Preemption, they call it, because state and federal law would preempt anything a city decides to make law. And then from there, if it comes back to us and they've approved it, we can petition for a home rule petition, and we could ask for it to be placed on the general election ballot. One would hope it could get on the ballot, if that's how it traveled, by 2024, 2025.
Longtime Fall River City Councilor Leo Pelletier returned to the chamber this week and spoke of his recent health challenges. Councilor Pelletier had missed a series of meetings earlier this spring, a rarity for the 30-plus year public servant. Speaking prior to Tuesday's meeting, an emotional Councilor Pelletier disclosed that he's been battling heart disease and will undergo further tests and surgery in the coming weeks, but he remains committed to continuing to serve Fall River.
I was getting worse day by day. And a Thursday before the operation, I told my wife, that's it. I can't take this. Take my wallet, take my keys, put it on a dresser, and call 911. So went to the hospital, and they said I did have a heart attack around the 28th or 29th. And I went for catheterization. After the operation, they come over and they told me, make sure you take it easy and everything else. But the small blood flow that I did get from the stents made me feel just a little better than I was, because I was a mess. So the plan is for me to stay, and I'm gonna do it to try to finish the term, and try to finish it standing up and getting it done. That's it. So that's the thing. And what happens, happens. The word is I'm staying. And we're going to take it from meeting to meeting. And with that, I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Residential Mortgage Sales Manager, St. Anne's Credit Union, located at 1675 President Avenue, is looking for a full-time residential mortgage sales manager to supervise mortgage loan consultants and develop loan programs. Job number 190-24320. Wastewater Operator, Veolia Water North America, located at 1979 Bay Street, is seeking a full-time wastewater operator to operate and maintain the treatment facility to purify water. Job number 190-27063. Pride Therapeutic Mentor, Therapeutic Training and Support Worker. Northeast Family Services, located at 222 Milliken Boulevard, is looking for a full-time Pride Therapeutic Mentor, Therapeutic Training and Support Worker, responsible for implementing treatment plans, working with clients and their family and or caregivers to support in-home therapy and behavioral needs in the LGBTQIA community. Job number 190-32784. Certified Nurse Assistants. Kimwell Nursing and Rehab, located at 495 New Boston Road, is looking for full and part-time certified nurse assistants. For more information, call 508-679-0106. Stepping Stone Incorporated, located at 111 Durfee Street, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Administrative Assistant, job number 190-23758. IT Technician, job number 190-23797. For more information about these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. Bristol Community College will award over 800 degrees and certificates at its 56th annual commencement exercises this Saturday at the Fall River campus on Ellsbury Street. Bristol President Dr. Laura Douglas says the annual ceremony is the ultimate celebration of success.
Commencement is always the culmination of a great academic year, and I'm really excited about our 2023 commencement ceremonies. We have a lot of students and family members coming, and you know, it's so wonderful when we begin to see the faculty and staff process. It's always wonderful and colorful with all their various robes and caps, but the real highlight is when the students walk in, and it is the most wonderful thing in the world to see them dressed, robed, various stoles that describe their experience, whether they were part of PTK or a group on campus. And they're smiling, and their families are cheering, and they have flowers and teddy bears and kids, and it's really just a wonderful time. The festivities are so joyous. It's really all about those students for me.
During the ceremony, graduates will hear from valedictorian Stanley Genialewski of New Bedford and salutatorian Victoria Robidoux of Providence. The Distinguished Citizen Award will be presented to Jason Rua, longtime community supporter and president and CEO of Ruma Dumont Insurance Agency. The college's honorary degree will be awarded to Pete Souza, former White House photographer during the administration of President Barack Obama. President Douglas says the day's festivities will continue after the issuing of degrees.
After commencement, we are going to have the most amazing lawn party. And if you were part of the ceremonies last year, you'll know how wonderful it is to have live music and events and entertainment and great food and ice cream sandwiches. We provide the party for all of our graduates and their families, and it is really a spectacular event. So
President Douglas says her favorite part of the ceremony is seeing the look of pride on the faces of graduates as they cross the stage.
I don't think they truly recognize the significance until they are walking across that stage. They hear their name, they hear their degree, they get that diploma, they shake our hands. It is truly emotional for the students. And as the person who shakes a lot of the hands, you can tell just sometimes by the sweat and the nervousness that they have of not wanting to mess up their final element of their Bristol Community College experience. But you know how important it is to them, and it is truly something to celebrate. It's a unique experience for every one of our students. I wish we could hear every story that goes with every graduate because they truly are inspirational.
You can watch the 56th Bristol Community College commencement exercises Saturday beginning at 11 a.m. on FRCmedia Channel 95, as well as on Bristol's Facebook page and YouTube channel. We will wrap up this edition of FRCmedia News right after this.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today with us we have Hudson. He is a 4-year-old pit mix. Hudson ended up here at the shelter, no fault of his own. Unfortunately, his owner passed away and there was nobody else that in the family that could take him. He is very sweet. He just wants to be around people. Hudson would make a great family pet. With him, he can be housed with children over 12, only because we don't know his history with kids. So we probably would say 12 and up for if you do have children in the home. He makes a great walking partner, and at the same time, he would just want to hang out with you, and he's very well-mannered on the leash. Paw. Good. Other paw. Good boy. Down. Yes. Good boy. Here at the shelter, if you did want to adopt a pit bull, you do have to own your own home. If you want to come down and meet Hudson, you can give Forever Paws Animal Shelter a call, make an appointment to come see him. But yeah, come make an appointment to meet Hudson because I know he'd love to meet you.
Today we have Libra. Libra is a 2-year-old calico, very sweet. She doesn't really care to be picked up and held too much, but she does love the pets. As you can see, she loves the head scratches and behind the ear, she loves. Libra is declawed in the front, so if you're looking for a declawed kitty, she would be your gal. Libra would do good in any home. I'm suggesting little older kids for her, where she can be a little temperamental, sometimes being picked up and everything, but like I said, she does love to be pet, and there's scratches on the head, she does love. If you'd like to meet Miss Libra, come on down to 300 Linwood Street. She would love to meet you.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website at frmedia.org for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Thursday.